revival of Hinduism's Gurukul and Nityananda universities by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
And here is the official photo from the inauguration of the Nityananda Gurukul in October of 2006 in the Bidadi, India.
And the students of the Nityananda Gurukul who are literally practicing yoga, meditation under the sacred banyan tree, the Kalpa Vriksha.
And here are more photos of the Gurukul, where 50% of the Gurukul Balasans study 1 to 3 years ahead of their age, scoring in the top 10 to 20% of Mensa at just the age of 14.
So Gurukul Balasans, they are learning the standard academics along with the indigenous Hindu scriptures.
And along with their education, they practice many arts such as Shivastamba Yoga and other yoga trained directly under the Shivastamba Acharyas and teachers.
And the Gurukul Balasans demonstrating the ability to perform the Kundalini Rajju even through the blindfolded.
And the special aspect about Gurukul is that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, personally teaches the once lost science of Parashakti. And you can see some photos of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism teaching the students of Gurukul the science of archery.
30% of the Gurukul Balasans demonstrating capacity to spontaneously play instruments without having a formal training.
And the Gurukul Balasans live the Agamic Shastra-based lifestyle, as you can see here, where they are all sitting and performing puja together.
And the Balasans of the Nityananda Gurukul demonstrates the ability to read blindfolded.
And they participate in the Bhakti-Sadas, the discussing the truths that Swamiji has shared.
And Balasans of the Nityananda Gurukul addressing the Kailashan delegates.
And the Balasans of Nityananda Gurukul, this is a photo after having hosted a successful worldwide webinar where they themselves conducted, planned, and executed the whole thing. And here you can see all of the students in front of Swamiji's Murti.
And the impact of Gurukul, if you see, the students, they actually have a whole brain learning with the stress-free living and zero teen violence or aggression that is seen in the outer world, and the quantum memory activation, which is recalling the verbatim after a single hearing, which is called Ekasantagrahi in the Vedic age. So grade-wise number of hours of studies daily, including school, private tuition, and coaching. You see, this is the comparison between what the students do in the regular school and in the Gurukul.
And the Kailasa's Nityananda Hindu University is the world's largest Hindu university established around the globe, with 450 plus campuses in 150 plus countries, and is available to the public since 2003 onwards. So this is another wonderful offering from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to humanity of how to be educated in the Hindu education system.
And Kailasa's Nityananda Hindu University is reviving and presenting the world's most ancient lost knowledge in a user-friendly way, and ancient truths taught in a way directly applicable for the modern man's personal, practical, and professional life.
And the NHU, the Kailasa Nityananda Hindu University, has over 20 million enrollments and counting, with 7,000 plus courses available and delegates and teachers from 50 plus countries directly contributing to the university.
Let us now watch what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is revealing about the value of Nityananda Rajavidya Rajagurukul.
Long rituals are not useless or unnecessary as a modern brainwashed Hindu thinks. Long rituals are the most powerful method, science, kriya, to awaken all the life energies. See, totally we have 21 life energies. I will describe all the 21 like a fundamental principal forces of life, like gravity, how all these are fundamental forces, principal forces externally. Internally, there are 21 life energies. Ability to visualize, ability to make decision. All these 21 is given to you, but you use them accidentally. That is why your life is full of accidents. Your marriage is accident, wealth is accident, life is accident, money is accident. Very less is planned, much is accident. And I tell you, I have seen people become thieves by not knowing the power of their life energy. I tell you, thief is the cheapest way to exist. I tell you. Because you do not know you own trillions. That is why you steal millions. If you know you own trillions, why will you steal? Listen, asteya, non-stealing, comes to a person who mastered his life energy. Each of my Gurukul kid is a $1 trillion economy. I tell you. Each of my Gurukul kid, the powers they can manifest. Understand, Gurukul is not a joke. It is a powerful science. Especially, see, normally, one child plus one child is a two child. But in the Gurukul ecosystem, one child plus one child is 11. 1, 1. Not 1 plus 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. If there are 3 child, it is not 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. No. It is 1, 1, 1. 111. The energy multiplication. Because the ecosystem, understand, that is why Gurukul has to be with the ecosystem. I have always seen, whenever I download a power on one child, when the group sits, I can share that power on the whole group. Because when team of kids or balasans or sannyasis or brahmacharis, when they sit as one team, it is very easy for me to just like a lightning pour the energy on them. Understand? The Sankhya of life energy is different. The multi-dimensional logic of life energy is different. People cannot understand this Sankhya. The multiple life energies, awakening them to its peak and manifesting them is all about life.
So despite the relentless attacks against the life, the character and image of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, he goes on sincerely contributing everything he has for the world. From the field of nutrition to the field of education, from protection to religious freedom to revival of indigenous traditions, the Supreme Pontiff has sincerely contributed in every facet. And this has not gone unnoticed by the world's dignitaries and leaders and multi-faith diaspora.
And as per Devi's revelations on the 12th of May 2021, I came as Nijavatara. I am blessing you. Listen, people, listen. To do good to all of you, I have taken the form of Nityananda and came down as Nijavatara. People of India, listen carefully, listen. Time after time, Bharatam is Jnana Bhumi, where enlightened beings come. We cannot make Jnana Bhumi as infertile. Enlightenment beings have to come.
So they have to live, it has to flower, and few hypocrites, because they are stuck in delusion, we cannot sacrifice the world. Cosmos cannot be destroyed. The ship I did to save the cosmos from being destroyed, that is the Adi Kailasa. The ship I did to protect beings from Pralaya is the Adi Kailasa. Because of conspiracy of drogis and enemies rule, the captain has to leave the ship.
Before 12 years, knowing the great deluge that is going to happen all Aushadas by this Guru Purnima, that Jnana Rasavadam, Navapashna is going to flower. Allow people to come and take dip in the Navapashna flower. People, whoever comes and dip in the Vajas River, they will not have death. They will not have corona. Crores and crores of people will come in line every day. They will come and take a dip in the Anandalingam.
So, Parashakti also repeats, listen well to my words. For India, I made ship as protection. The Nityananda Navapashana Lingam in Vaidya Sarovar. Go to Adi Kailasa. O Indians, listen. All those regretting losing Nityananda Nijavatara without confusion and without talking just as lip service, go to Adi Kailasa.
Scores of people will come there looking for help. The Navapashana water, feast, and medicine to get health and protection and enlightenment. To protect India from this great destruction, I, Parashakti, made this huge ship. Even if the captain is not there, the ship is there.
Yes, so when all the countries, first world countries, are closing their borders and schools during a massive global emergency, today, Kailasa has opened its doors to all of you without any exception.
And here are the different free COVID care centers across India, including Adi Kailash, Salem, Tirunamalai, Rajapalayam, Puduvai, Patnam, Tirgapadi, and many more that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened up for everyone in India to take refuge and have the multi-layer quarantine.
So we could see the multiple free COVID care centers which are opened across India, various social services offered during pandemic in Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies across India, the spiritual services offered during pandemic in Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies across India, and cosmic revelations on the global pandemic.
And in each COVID care center, we are providing medical care, including allopathy, Ayurveda, and Siddha, and there's infrastructure to accommodate thousands. And the accommodation has multi-layer quarantine, and there are ambulances and ICUs on wheels provided for any emergency situation, as well as personal protective medical equipment to protect yourself, and food security management through the food bank and organic farming.
Yes, so you can join any of these COVID care protection centers and protect your life and register through the link kailasa.org/Kailasa Care.
And Kailasa has been education services amidst the massive global emergency. The Department of Education of Kailasa is providing academic as well as spiritual educational services physically for all kids residing in Adi Kailasa Nikita, and virtually for a number of kids through the e-Gurukul program. With more than 1 billion kids not having access to education in the midst of this global pandemic, Kailasa has taken both the spiritual and academic responsibility to enrich and provide these services.
So you can join these COVID care protection centers and register through the link kailasa.org/kailasacare. So with that, we come to the conclusion of this segment of this program, and we'll take a short break before the next segment of the program begins.
World should become Kailasians. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity, withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you, and make you interested in enlightenment science. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you, in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model community. Kailasa, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Pitas all over the world. All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. It's a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually, the spiritual prosperity. Happen the whole planet. We all have to coexist together. We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become Kailasian. I want the whole world. Great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity, withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you and make you interested in enlightenment time.
Nityanandam, welcome to all of the viewers who are joining us for this program, the Devi Parashakti Akashic reading program, and all of you who are joining across the world in different time zones and joining us for this beautiful time as we gather for Nityananda Satsang and the Devi Parashakti Akashic reading. Every day at this time, we request the time listening from all of the viewers across the world, all the Kailasians and the Hindu diaspora who is listening in across the world, to listen to the story, untold story of the Hindu Holocaust, what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has undergone for the last more than 2 decades, continuously being berated by incessant lawfare, brutal attacks to every single adinam, and over 70 assassination attempts to mob lynch him, attempts to arrest him illegally and put him under torture in order to force a false confession out of him, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and ultimately destroy the last hope for Hinduism. We have literally been seeing over the last 2 decades, how continuously the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is undergoing the most amount of persecution, more so than any leader who has done for the humanity, good for the humanity. And ultimately, why he is doing what he is doing, why he is sacrificing so much, is for the revival of Kailasa, the revival of the Hindu civilization. Now, yesterday, or the previous segment that we were discussing and presenting to each and every one of you, the assassination attempts against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we saw how from 2010, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been under attack constantly, and his very life being absolutely taken for granted, his being and him as even just, if you consider him as a human being, even just dehumanizing him. We've seen how the anti-Hindu element had done this in a very strategic way. And basically in 4 steps, they planned and they strategized to ensure that they execute their targeted killings. And the United Nations even understands and specializes in the topic of targeted killings and assassination attempts against leaders of religious minorities and leaders of communities who are under threat and who are endangered because of continuous oppression by terrorist movements. So in their strategy, they have 4 steps. One is mob violence, where the mobs or the staged henchmen of the anti-Hindu militant terrorists, whom they literally pay to go and execute their violence, and who are enslaved to the anti-Hindu militant forces in some way or form. And along with the complicity of authorities in hand who are responsible for keeping peace and ensuring justice is seen and executed, the anti-Hindu militant forces stage a mob and execute mob violence in order to ensure that violence is used against a certain person, but nobody is held accountable. In the whole rush of the mob and the violence against a certain person, they won't be able to pinpoint one person who is against, or one person who is held accountable, who can be held accountable. And they do this in a strategic manner. First, by executing media demonization, where on the media, they use campaigns to smear the character of a leader of a marginalized community. And then they use this smear campaign that they try to project to the whole world in order to justify the subsequent mob violence that they stage, and then they ensure that that leader has to undergo and protect themselves and literally pray for their lives to survive through. And then after that, they ensure that there's no legal recourse for what they are doing and for what they have done against that religious minority leader. Finally, again, they do the media demonization after the whole incident is over, projecting as if the entire mob had hated this person, and out of their hate, they had killed or beaten or brutally assaulted this religious or this minority leader. this strategic steps, this 4-step plan is used by anti-Hindu militant forces in numerous instances. And I can give you many examples, but I'd like to give the example today of the Palghar murders that happened last year around this time. We are observing 1 year since, more than 1 year since the deaths of 2 revered Hindu sadhus at Palghar, where they were brutally handed over to the mob and killed without any sense of dignity and reverence for their deaths and for the loss of especially 2 sannyasis and 2 sadhus who had been serving the whole world and who decided that they would serve the world. And we saw first how the media demonization happened well prior to what prior to the mob violence executed against the sadhus, because continuously in the media, always the demonization of sadhus, sannyasis is continuously happening. And this is a strategy of the anti-Hindu owned media mafia of India. We've seen continuously how they are always having a underlying current of anti-Hindu abuse, anti-sadhu and anti-agore and anti-sannyasi abuse, where they're literally abusing, characterizing and dehumanizing the sannyasis of Hinduism, and not just against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, where we saw the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism having literally being attacked with more than 14,000 hours of defamation and hate speech content. And not only that, we saw how literally after that, so many Hindu sannyasis had undergone the same kind of demonization by the media mafia in India. So already in the scene, there is a common projected disrespect towards the sannyasis of Hinduism. And on this incident in last year in Palghar, we actually saw the video footage of how these 2 sadhus were literally handed over to the police, to the mob. They were handed over by state authorities to the mob. And the authorities, very well knowing that there is a possibility for these 2 sadhus to lose their lives on this night, they literally were handed over to the mob. And there was absolutely horrifying footage of these sadhus desperately trying to protect themselves against a ferocious and terrifying, horrifying mob running in all directions, trying to seek protection. But at the end, what we saw was 2 covered bodies of the Hindu sadhus who had been beaten to death. After that, there was no legal recourse of what had happened, to hold the people who had done the violence accountable, because it was projected in the media as if an entire mob had hatefully killed 2 Hindu sadhus, and whom these sadhus they projected in the media as thieves and literally as if they were beggars. Now, in this whole way, they were ultimately showing how Hindu sannyasis they're projecting as if they are thieves and trying to make them less than who they are. decharacterizing them, assassinating their character, and trying to project after the whole incident, after their death, as if, oh, it was just the death of two thieves, and we have the right to kill them. The anti-Hindu media and the anti-Hindu militant forces were actually successful at quieting the entire Hindu population when we had not even taken the action against Hindu sannyasi, against the anti-Hindu militants who had literally killed two Hindu sannyasis. Now, just this 4-step strategic plan is exactly how the anti-Hindus have tried and tried again and again to attempt to assassinate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. 1, media demonization. 2, mob violence. 3, ensuring that there would be no legal recourse. And 4, again, demonizing them in the media to ensure the job was complete. The anti-Hindus have this extremely well thought out plan to ensure that the crimes that they do against Hindus is entirely silenced and projected in the media and made as if it is such a great thing that they're doing, getting rid of the vile people of society. But what the truth is that the most giving, dedicated, servicing people of the whole nation, the Hindu sannyasis, are being killed in the hands of the anti-Hindu militant forces. And this is how the anti-Hindus have literally targeted Hindu leaders in so many different circumstances. Today, we'll be continuing on the segment on the targeted killings and assassination attempts against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, continuing on from 2010 until 2012, and we'll be understanding how after 2010, in 2012, we had continuously been going and seeing the most brutal violence against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So we will now be continuing on to the next years of assassination attempt against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, presenting to each and every one of you about how they have continuously been targeting the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and wanting to eliminate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism entirely. We'll be right back with you after a few minutes, and please take a few minutes to share the link in the scroll below and share with as many people as possible the truth about the persecution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We'll be right back with you after a very quick break.
Scatter this enlightenment signs to the whole world wherever they are. Because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, gender, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. And setting model community. Kailasa, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Pitas all over the world. All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happen. This is a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually. The spiritual prosperity will happen to the whole planet. We all have to coexist together. We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. manifesting the state of Paramashiva, space of Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become e-Kailasians. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that.
Nityanandam. Now, I'd like to welcome back to all the viewers after that very quick break. I'd like to begin with the attacks against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in 2012. And as each and every one of you know, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has literally revived Kailasa for each and every one of us. And this 1 hour segment every single day is the opportunity that I'd like to take personally to share with you what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has undergone to make that revival happen. And ultimately, what he is declaring as anything that he would do to make sure that each and every one of us have this beautiful lifestyle, Kailasa, on planet Earth once again. In 2012, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism we had seen 2 years since the attacks against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in 2010. We had seen so much of growth, and it was even as if we could put behind what happened in the attacks against us. In fact, in 2012, on April 29th, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Guru Maha Sannidhanam, the 293rd Guru Maha Sannidhanam of the Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam, the Kailashonata Shamala Pita Sarvagna Pitam, which is the Madurai Adinam, the oldest apex body of Hinduism. And having seen this, having celebrated the fact that the incarnation of Meenakshi, Devi Meenakshi, the one who had ruled over Madurai so many years back, was once again ruling, we saw how suddenly, despite so much of attack, success was happening in the world. And still, the revival of Kailasa was sure to happen and successfully happening. And of course, this is nothing but a Leela of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, where literally, despite so much of attack, just within 1 year, completely back and contributing to the world as if nothing had happened entirely. But immediately upon this happening, anti-Hindu militant forces quickly caught on to the amount of attack, to the amount of success that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was once again achieving in his mission to revive Kailasa. In this next segment, we will understand how in 2012, the anti-Hindu militant forces brought on 10 times more brutal attacks and tried to assassinate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism multiple times throughout the whole year. I request all the viewers to once again stay tuned and take a few minutes now to share the link in the scroll below for about the persecution against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We'll be right back with you after a very quick break and continuing on in this segment.
E-Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity, withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness. We can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude, your understanding about life. We can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you and make you interested in enlightenment science. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed. So this absolutely perfected knowledge available to you, served to you in your home without even you moving out of your couch, free of cost. What I mean by the word Kailasa, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. I will revive Hinduism. I am a Hindu revivalist, not by any revolution, but by evolution. and setting model community. Kailasa, enlightenment ecosystems, Sarvanya Peethas all over the world. All powerful cognition, knowledge, only when you live, power manifestation and possibilities manifestation happens. This is a fundamental truth. Hinduism cannot live exclusively as one sampradaya. No. All sampradayas of Hinduism is an ecosystem. So don't keep quiet thinking that if one sampradaya is attacked, only that sampradaya is going to be affected. All of us are ecosystem. I invite all of you to get involved and enjoy Hinduism by the principle of Dharmo Rakshati Rakshitaha. When you protect Dharma, Dharma protects you. We will make the whole planet flourish spiritually, the spiritual prosperity. We happen to whole planet Earth. We all have to coexist together. We get you health. We get you ability to build beautiful relationships in your life. We get you direct spiritual support, and we make sure you become wealthy. We won't stop giving you just good life. We will literally not stop till you live enlightened life. Manifest.
Nityanandam, and welcome back, dear viewers. The next assassination attempt and the targeted killing we are going to be seeing on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So what happened in the year 2014? The brutal assassination attempt on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism under the garb of a very, very, very discriminating potency test. Now, just to give a little background of what actually led to the potency test of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in the year 2010, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was falsely accused of some random allegations. And those random allegations, the police twisted it as rape, and they were trying to call for victims from all over. They gave advertisements in the media, in the television channels, but nobody obviously came forward because none of those allegations are true. Now, when the case was about to be quashed, the anti-Hindu elements, in their desperate attempt to continue their persecution on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, found a false rape victim who could come and give these baseless false allegations on rape allegations on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And when the Supreme Pontiff was illegally arrested in 2014, the Supreme Pontiff very clearly told that he has a yogic physiology, and they can do the medical test on his body to know that these allegations are not even possible, physically impossible, because of his yogic physiology of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And the police did do the test. The medical tests were taken in 2010 itself. However, the police blatantly lied that in 2012 that no medical test was taken, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had to be subject to yet another medical test, and this time they were calling it as a potency test. And in 2014, the Apex Court of India, the Supreme Court, gave a judgment saying that the Supreme Pontiff has to subject himself to a medical test. Failing to do so, he would need to be arrested. So the Supreme Court of the Apex Court of India, the Supreme Court had given this order in 2014, and on the 8th of September 2014, this brutal medical test was scheduled. Now, early morning, the Supreme Pontiff actually left very early in the morning in a devotee's car, and much later, the Supreme Pontiff's car, which was the official car of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, left with a disciple sitting in the passenger seat, instead, closing himself and wrapping himself up as Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Then what happened is, as the Supreme Pontiff's car was leaving the monastery, the media elements started to hound the car. They started jumping on the car. They were putting their cameras into the dashboard of the car, and they were surrounding the car from all sides, and they tried their level best to actually stop the Supreme Pontiff from going to the medical test. And what happened was, when they actually grabbed the Supreme Pontiff out of the car and they beat him, only then they realized that it was a disciple of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and that the Supreme Pontiff had already reached the hospital for the so-called medical test. A brutal test which no human being, not even actually, which no creature should ever go through, was attempted on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism with the only intention to assassinate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Now, the police who were handling the case knew very clearly about the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, because they did actually do a test in 2010 itself. However, in 2014, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was subject to this brutal test, which is called as a potency test, and the only intention of the test was to assassinate Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and he was given multiple injections and forced to take multiple injections under the name of potency test. First, as the Supreme Pontiff was reaching the hospital, the media mafia tried to, you can see the amount of media here surrounding the ambulance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The media mafia tried to stop the Supreme Pontiff's car and tried to attack Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Here you can see the media chase started at around 7:30 a.m. from the Bengaluru Adinam as the Supreme Pontiff's car was leaving the Adinam. And here you can hear what really happened to the Supreme Pontiff's car just before the Supreme Pontiff was going to the medical test. Here you can see the car and the disciple sitting, wrapping himself up as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the car. And as they were going to the hospital, the anti-Hindu elements literally attacked the car from all sides, somehow wanting to, first of all, stop, and second of all, wanting to here you can see the media elements have literally surrounded the car on all sides and wanting to attack the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And after the Supreme Pontiff reached the hospital as well, we can see the media literally hounding. When the Supreme Pontiff was in the hospital, continuously the media aired so much of hate speech and giving such nasty details of what is going on in the hospital. And we are going to be sharing more about the actual torture that was done to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Today, we want to focus on the assassination attempts. How many assassination attempts were attempted on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism? First of all, starting from the monastery to reach to the hospital, the car of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was attacked, and the
media mafia pulled the disciple who was sitting in the passenger seat, thinking it was Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The media mafia pulled the disciple out and they literally beat him to death. And after they realized that it was not the Supreme Pontiff and it was his disciple, they became even more angry, and they were beating the vehicle. And then they rushed to the hospital. Now, at that time, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was already in the hospital, and he was subject to such brutal tests, and horrific damage to his body was done. And they had injected him with cardiac arrest inducing injections. They had injected him with injections just to get the expected result of the medical test as such. And when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was actually being transferred from one hospital to the next, literally it was a car chase. If you had heard about how Princess Diana was chased by the media, and it actually led to the attack and the accident, and leading to the death of Princess Diana herself, here you can literally see exactly the same way the media hounding the ambulance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism literally from all corners. Literally from all corners, and they had only one intention. They somehow wanted to get to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and use this medical test as a reason to directly attack on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and make it look like an accident. Here you can see this cameraman who's actually jumping from one vehicle to the vehicle, to the ambulance. It's not even a vehicle, to the ambulance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, purporting to take a visual or to take a video, but actually the intention is that these anti-Hindu elements somehow want to jump to the vehicle and get to the physical attack and assassination attempt of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Here you will see all rules broken. Only the ambulance has the right to travel on the opposite side of the road. However, every anti-Hindu element and media, they are completely violating the rule, and they are surrounding the ambulance from all sides. Even the police is not able to do anything. Actually, the police and the anti-Hindu elements go hand in hand. So the police, even the police vehicle, which is supposed to give protection to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is a few vehicles away from the actual ambulance itself. And here you can see this person who is the anti-Hindu media mafia trying to somehow, this is in the middle of the road while the vehicle is going, somehow they wanted to bring the ambulance to, attack the ambulance, get to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Somehow, before the Supreme Pontiff gets to the Adinam, here you can see how this person is actually literally out of his car, and all these things we have seen in movies, but here you are seeing it live happening to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, a continuous attack being done. Here you can see one of the motor vehicles actually fell down and they were hit by the ambulance. And here one car is in the front, purposely blocking the ambulance. Actually, the ambulance has the right of the way. All cars, all vehicles have to go to the side, but that is a vehicle of the anti-Hindu element wanting to attack the Supreme Pontiff. Supreme Pontiff is inside the ambulance, and his body has been utterly damaged by what happened on that day. And the media mafia now has surrounded the ambulance from all sides. There is no way for the ambulance to go in the way it wants. It is being now literally, it is a car kidnapping. The media mafia is surrounded on all sides. They somehow want to only attack the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Here you can see how the ambulance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is being chased and closed from all sides. And now the hunt continues. The 40-kilometer stretch from Maniwala back to Bidadi, the anti-Hindu elements did not want to give up. They did not want to miss any one chance. They didn't want to miss even one chance of leaving this opportunity to assassinate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Literally, you can see it was a mad chase. It was literally like a car surrounding the car from the Supreme Pontiff's ambulance from all sides. Somehow the media mafias are trying to get to the car. Under the pretext of airing it live, or under the pretext of taking the video footage, the whole intention is to get to Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and they did not stop till the gate, the very monastery gates of the Supreme Pontiff. And finally at the gate, when the car actually reached the gate, they staged yet another assassination attempt. The car in which the Supreme Pontiff traveled for the medical test was completely damaged. It was punctured and damaged, and it was broken, and you can actually see the bumpers dented and the glass broken. And that was the very same car the Supreme Pontiff traveled in the morning, and he could not travel back in the same car because the car was completely damaged. And here you can see the ashram diver is now being beaten and is pulled out of the vehicle and is completely beaten by the anti-Hindu elements. And even at the gates of the monastery, the anti-Hindu elements didn't want to rest or relent, and they are continuously attacking. And it was an extremely traumatic experience, and the anti-Hindu elements somehow want to get to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and they created yet another extreme situation and scene at the gate. As the Supreme Pontiff, the car somehow managed to get Supreme Pontiff back into the Adinam. The attack continued. And even at the gate, here you can see the anti-Hindu militant mafias trying to create a violence at the gate, and the police are just standing and watching. And it was extremely barbaric attack. And the whole day, the TV channels were airing such pornographic material, so much of hate speech and character assassination on featuring Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the so-called discriminatory potency test against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Here you can see the car in which the Supreme Pontiff traveled in the morning is completely broken by the anti-Hindu elements. The windows were broken, the bumpers were broken, and now at the gate, the anti-Hindu elements now are staging a violent attack. Here you can see the CCTV footage of how the violence is being erupted out right outside the monastery gates. Here you can see this is the very car that the Supreme Pontiff traveled in the morning. The car got completely damaged. Here you can see stones being thrown out, and you can see what on the right side, you can see something like a bullet shot on the vehicle, which has torn open the glass, which has pierced the back glass of the vehicle. And this is the very same car the Supreme Pontiff traveled in the morning. And the very same car was completely punctured. The dashboard was completely broken. In the backside, the glass was completely broken. The bumper is dented, and they had targeted to get to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Just as Supreme Pontiff was completely abiding by the legalities and by the procedures, but the anti-Hindu media mafia joining hands with the state elements and the police and the neo-Hindutva militants, somehow wanting to assassinate Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And this is one of the 70 plus assassination attempts that have happened on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Today, as a part of the Hindu Persecution Awareness Month, we are sharing with you about how the targeted killings and assassination attempts are being staged against Hindu gurus, Hindu organizations, and especially somebody who has given and sacrificed his life for Hinduism, which is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And we will be in the upcoming segments of this program and in the upcoming segments of this show in this month, we will be continuing to share with you the more attacks, persecution, lawfare, hate speech that is currently being spread, and that the persecution happening against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And we invite each and every one of you to share the report published by the United Nations recognizing the persecution of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Kailasa. Please share that with the hashtag UN recognizes persecution of SPH Nityananda and Kailasa. That we come to the conclusion of this segment, and in the next segment, upcoming next is the Kailash Courtyard Power Manifestation session. So let's get ready to go ahead and manifest the powers. Now, the ending now with the Purna Mantra. Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavad Shri Nityananda Paramashiva Paduka Arpanamastu Om Nityanandam.
Paramashiva, powers of Paramashiva, being of Paramashiva. Whole world should become Kailashians. I want the whole world to know Hindus have something great to contribute to the world. We have something great to contribute to the world. Let us do that. Kailasa is proper customized spiritual service helping you to identify your root patterns of suffering. We have perfected the science of helping every individual from every cultural, religious, nationality background. You will have lowest reactionary assumptions, highest awakened response, alive response for life continuously. Kailasa is enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself in your own home, wherever you are. Proper customized spiritual service helping you to complete with your life negativity. Withdrawal from life, self-hatred, self-denial, self-doubt, so much of tiredness, laziness, we can support you aligning your diet, your attitude, your aptitude your understanding about life, we can help you with everything. If you are interested in enlightenment, we will immediately bring this to you. If you are not interested, we will explain the whole science, inspire you and make you interested in enlightenment science. We need to cater this enlightenment science to the whole world wherever they are, because enlightenment is the birthright of all human beings. Kailasa is responsible to provide that to all human beings. Kailasa is the totality of the knowledge I received from my gurus and practice manifested in my life, perfected by teaching millions of people from all cultures, time zones, backgrounds, genders, nationality, race, from every creed.
Test is a
of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nityanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattamasyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you, due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you, out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing, manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained what is power manifestation. Power manifestation is a cognitive shift from our space of body and mind to superconscious breakthrough, the consciousness, conscious sovereignty that Bhagavan has beautifully blessed us. That is the shift that we experience by doing power manifestation. Again and again, we get a glimpse of that shift. And this is a science. We can experience the superconscious breakthrough in all of us And it is a science that's proven by all these evidences. That is why it's a science of power manifestation, which is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. The Shastra Pramana, the evidences from the scriptures, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and the Agamas. Apta Pramana, the experience and the results of the Aptas, the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanama, Alvars, and millions of them who are authority of Hinduism, manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. Atma Pramana, account of His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Parameshwaram, this millennium's avatars, personal experience of power manifestation, Bhagavan's very own Leelas. Bhagavan Leelas mapping to the Shastra and the Apta Pramana. Shakshi Pramana, experience of the millions of disciples, devotees, followers all over the world who have manifested all the powers of Paramashiva as per the Shastra and Apta. And Bhagavan has beautifully said, whoever comes to the Kailash courtyard, I myself initiate and bless them to manifest all the powers of Paramashiva. Bhagavan's presence can be really experienced as reality in the Kailash courtyard. Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Again and again, Bhagavan beautifully gives us the scientific study to understand that it is also a science where we can experience the thoughtless space. Even if you experience 3 seconds, we can manifest the powers. And when we expand to 21 seconds, Bhagavan says 21 kshanas, we can experience enlightenment itself. The thoughtless space is what everybody is running behind to experience the superconscious breakthrough. Now we can experience that oneness space as our reality in this power manifestation session today. Let's go to the Shastra Pramana. Shastra Pramana are the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, Vedas and the Agamas. This is from the scriptural reference for the power of breath dimension from the Shiva Sutra, Sutra 1.19. Beautifully, Bhagavan gives all the sutras, and he's spoken about many sutras, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Jain Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, all that, but in only smaller versions. But when it comes to Shiva Sutra, he has spoken on each and every sutra in detail. He says each one sutra is a religion by itself. It has knowledge to become a religion. It's that powerful. So here Bhagavan gives the Shiva Sutra for us to understand the dimensions. Shakti Sandhane Shariro Patihi, Bhagavan Paramashiva says, by aiming and fixing the self on Shakti, uniting in oneness with the supreme power, embodiment of that which is cognized and willed. These are the 4 instructions. Manifest at once as all the dimension, length, breadth, depth, time, and space. Understanding these dimensions, how we exist in different dimensions, how we are, who we are, and what is it that I exist. The length is just the verbalization. Only the length forms a verbalization. If you see an ant, it understands only a length and a breadth, probably a paper on or an object on the surface. But if I start piling an object, it doesn't understand the depth dimension. So it thinks that it has vanished. Same way for us, we understand 4 dimensions, length, breadth, depth, and time and space. Where is the person, which location, and how he exists. And we understand the dimensions, but beyond that dimension, if I have to go to 11 dimensions that Bhagavan says, I do not understand that. I think whether it is Trilanga Swami or Andal or Manika Vachkar and so many great saints have disappeared into the Nataraja or into the Shivalinga because I do not understand how they exist. If we need to understand the higher science, then we have to understand the whole concept of Advaita, the oneness. How in the outer world, the delusion world, we value the Mahamaya, the currency, as the ultimate to raise into the higher and higher planes. Here in the conscious space, you value, and the only value is, Bhagavan says, the oneness space. How you understand the oneness, you can manifest anything as your reality, because that is the whole key, how we exist as a superconscious being. Once you are able to perceive it, you will be able to manifest any of the reality. It's like you understand the clay doll that the child is playing with is just a clay. You can make any form, anything out of it. You can make a laptop, you can make a cup, you can make a doll, you can make anything, because you understand the clay doll can be used like that. Same way you're made of consciousness, the conscious sovereignty that you are. If you understand that, you can simply manifest any of the reality. That is what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says to when there was Arya Samaj and Brahmo Samaj. Brahmo Samaj Keshav, he was one of the greatest person who gave all these great lectures on spirituality. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa goes to him. He was talking about the formless. We can understand the formless like water, but when you put yourself and give a form, it becomes a form. It becomes ice. Same way, the formless that is there as consciousness can simply manifest as reality when you give a form, a perception to it. That will happen once you understand that how you know about a clay, you should know about the conscious sovereignty. Once you understand conscious sovereignty in your action, words, and your thoughts, you will understand that you do not exist only in the body, but you exist beyond that, and you can also manifest this body as you want. And simply like a clay doll, you can mold yourself or mold anybody that you see or anything that you see, because everything is made of consciousness. And simply in your dream, you are manifesting that. And you are able to manifest in any dimensions and any possibility that you want. Here in the awareness, also Bhagavan says, you can manifest just being in the oneness with Paramashiva. And that Advaita space, that oneness space, that quantum entanglement space with Swamiji, with Bhagavan, we will manifest our reality as the reality that needs to manifest as power manifestation. Now let's move to Apta Pramana. Apta Pramanas are the rishis, munis, ganas, nayanamas, millions of them are authority of Hinduism who have manifested the powers. Here you can see this is from Mahabharata book, Adi Parva, section 2, page 20. So beautifully it says how the Pandavas supposed to be burnt alive by the Kauravas when they were put in the wax museum. Vidura came to know about this whole thing and informs a miner who goes and through his third eye, he's able to dig the whole path underground and save the whole Pandavas, and completely they are safe and fine. The Kauravas think they are dead, but they are completely safe because of the miner exactly dug them out of this place. All these great signs was a reality in those world that also can be a possibility for each one of us to understand the higher science. Bhagavan beautifully explains in Atma Pramana.
It's useless for you and for what you inherited. Life should be built. Life should be built, especially with a lot of oppositions. That integrates you, I tell you, that integrates you. That makes strong people together around you. Understand, even to live in this campus, you need to be strong. 10,000 times stronger than any society, any person in society. Really, I'm telling you. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Shine punnye madhyalokam vishanti. When punya is lost from Swarga, you come back to Buloka. When will persistence is lost, you leave Kailasa and go back to Buloka. I tell you. Ability to hold these higher visualizations. Ability to intensely feel this truth. Ability to intensely integrate your being. See, ability of your brain's ability to hold certain visualization, and hold certain truths, understand and digest all this are basic tools for liberation and enlightenment and manifesting powers. I am not talking about alcohol, drugs, non-veg, all this from the angle of morality. I am talking about all this from the angle of human beings are losing their tools for living life. It is actually a big conspiracy against the humanity. And even the people who sell, they don't know why they are selling. It is not that all the money they gather with that they are happy. No, it is a large blind spot. If the blind spot is in one brain, it is called ignorance. If it is in the brains of a group of people, it is called collective stupidity. If it is in the brains of a society, it's called Maya. It is not that people who sell you alcohol and destroy your health and your brain's ability to live entrance to get sanctified and be allowed inside the house. And we will all be standing in the queue because all these girls have to pass and go back. Then one by one everyone has to drop their clothes. One grandmother will be standing with a pot full of water. She will pour on everyone, and then we have to run inside and wear our clothes. And even these clothes which we dropped, she will not touch by hand. She will pour water on it and use a stick and lift it. Now when I look, especially when I drive the streets of Tiruvannamalai, I can see cultural genocide. When people stand in line openly in Tasmak shops, when people smoke openly in Tiruvannamalai, see, I'm not talking about Tiruvannamalai alone. You need to understand. Tiruvannamalai is the place I can compare the stark memories. Because of that, I'm talking about Tiruvannamalai. I know the before and after. (1980s) and this 2018s. I can see the stark difference. That is why I'm talking about Tiruvannamalai. Of course, I'm sure all the cities, the same thing is happening everywhere. I'm not concerned about this alcohol and non-veg and all this from any moral sense, understand? I'm concerned about all this because they reduce the frequency of your consciousness. That is where the whole problem is. The ability to grasp life, ability to involve life in life. I tell you. Yesterday I was describing what I call organic healthy brain. If it can understand a verbalization and hold that visualization, I call that as organic healthy brain. If you don't have organic healthy brain, not only you can't become enlightened, you can't be even an ordinary grihastha, understand? It's not that your grihastha means just die in gutter, no. You're a human being, you have life. One of the important things you need to understand, do not push all my teachings on, dump on sannyasis and say, oh, we are grihasthas, we don't need all that. Come on, I'm talking to consciousness. Many times we tend to do that. A healthy brain, healthy organic brain is required to uphold anything and make it successful in your life. Understand? Life is too complicated. Too much of complexities. Yesterday I made a statement. Society will hate you, rate you, judge you, beat you. It'll do everything. Beyond that, what makes you stand, that is what you are.
Manifesting the power.
Shakshi Pramana are the millions of disciple devotees, followers manifesting the powers of Paramashiva. In the courtyard, what happened and the testimonial from the courtyard, beautifully they are sharing how she beautifully not only found the path but also the place details.
So one of my other question was the Route 66 in the USA. So as soon as I say the Route 66, the pencil start drawing on our paper exactly the route, the street going starting from one point, then on going up, and again more and more. So then she told me I see many points on the map. I say yes, perfect. Can you tell me please which one is the first from where is starting and the city is starting and the end one? And she starts saying LOSA, so Los Angeles, and after CHI, Chicago. So beautiful, beautiful, yeah.
So you can see how they were able to not only tell the path, we are going to do the breadth dimension. This is Shakshi Pramana, the references from the evidences from the disciple, devotees, followers, many of them who have experienced that as power, because they have no idea where it starts and where it is and all the details. They just said some route 11, route 22, and they have to draw. And here the child is beautifully saying, the Balasans, even the location, the starting name and the ending name, where it starts and where it ends. And you can see exactly the directions and the place. The Balasins used to tell even the address of the place. If you tell you're going to go to, if you have never been to LA Hindu temple, then you ask somebody to go from LA airport or Seattle or San Jose to LA temple, from this temple to other Hindu temple. If you have never been there and you're asked and you give exact details of where the which street is, how amazing. That's how the Balasins in Courtyard used to do the GPS. Now we are going to draw the GPS of two locations. You can have a partner with you, or you can just take 2 points that you can decide from where to where. You've never been in India, just pick up 2 names that you know and start drawing the details. You can draw the details from one point to another. You can give the prominent points, the mountains or the big oceans that you see, or the rivers that you see along the way, very prominent things, so that you can Google and verify the details. So make sure it is very authentic, that you don't know, you have never visited and never know the directions to these places. And make sure you are giving all the details and verifying it at the end only through consciousness. See, we know how the mind works. We do that all the time. 24/7, 365 days, we are with the mind. How much we are, we don't know, but we are there. So for this power manifestation session, no mind. Drop it outside, how you drop everything else. Tell in the guest room, you drop your mind thinking. No thinking is required. No, nothing is required. Only Paramashiva has to happen to you as reality and manifest as powers. Will he come and draw it? Yes, he would come and draw it. If you ask him to do it, he would do it. All these are the extraordinary possibility of a human being. Human has to become human being. We are only half correct. That's why Bhagavan says, if you're human, if you say you are not correct, you are telling a lie. Only if you're a human being, that is the divine in you, starts manifesting in the human body, is how you describe a human being. So all of us can experience the ultimate consciousness that Paramashiva has downloaded in us, initiated. If you are part of this session, be very clear. Whoever you are by mistake, you put yourself a foot inside this first time you're coming into this Kailash Kotyad never mind, you have stepped into the superconscious space. The lift is ready and it is going to lift you to higher reality. Be very clear. Consciousness is how we exist. That is conscious sovereignty, that how we exist, the very core of us, the Paramashiva space in us. The more and more you entangle in the quantum space as oneness, and you understand how you exist as an existential reality, you will start manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. Now we'll get into the deep meditation for 20 minutes, 2 cycles. Before that, if you can take your Kantamala and apply the Jnananjan in your temple and third eye, that will be wonderful. If you can set up your camera, that is awesome. And decide what are the places you're going to draw the map. That will be really beautiful. Now let's get into the instruction that Bhagavan has given to get into the superconscious boat. Conscious sovereignty boat. So here you sit straight with your head, neck and spine in a straight line so that the Kundalini energy not only stays in the lower 3 chakra but also raises to the Anahata and the Sahasrara to manifest all your reality and your third eye itself. Please sit straight, put away your gadgets, put away your mind, put away your thinking, everything out of the way. Only have visualization of Bhagavan and verbalization of his words. All that we need to do is only hold on to that and absolute unclutching from every thought which comes. Na eti, nothing is there. 14 years, the beautiful story of Swetaketu, he was such a learned person, whether it is Hanuman, here it is Vivekananda or Swetaketu, all were great learned people. When Vivekananda was told about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he said, why should I go to a person who doesn't even know to sign? I have read everything, all the scriptures in the world. So that is how they started. When Hanuman first met Rama, he questioned Rama in 9 grammar in Sanskrit to check out that Rama is capable of handling. Understand all these great truth and you'll understand you are also part of that unconscious space. So the 14 years, what he was supposed to do is Swetaketu, na eti, what all he learned, he has to say, no, it is not me, it is not me, it is not me. And finally, he forgot even to count because his guru told after 1,000 cow, come back. His cow came and said, we have become 1,000, please go to your guru. And then he went to his guru and got the blessings, finally initiated into the enlightened space. Final step, the guru will take care when you are ready with your conscious as your space, when you're able to get a thoughtless space. So absolute unclutching from everything, anything that in the deep sleep, even if your hand is broken, you don't remember. Even somebody closest, something has happened, you don't remember. So get to that space, nothing, no guilt about it. You will be only auspiciousness when you unclutch. So hold on to that completely, that I am consciousness, I am Paramashiva, I am Parashakti. Again and again go into that oneness space, entangle with that space, seeing the entanglement of Bhagavan in the superconscious space. When you entangle with Bhagavan, you will start manifesting higher. Chant the Mahavakya till you melt yourself into Paramashiva space. Is this possible? Very much possible. Can water become steam? Yes. If it becomes 100 degrees, it will become steam. It is so simple that only requires vairagya, the will persistence to hold on to the space that I am Paramashiva, and it doesn't take so much of effort. It takes only the intensity. How intense we are when we are inside the water to breathe. That intensity is required in the same manifestation. So intensely sit and chant the Mahavakya, forgetting your body and mind, merging into the oneness with Paramashiva. You have done it yesterday night in sleep and you have experienced it. It's not that we have never experienced. We dropped the mind and we went to sleep and dream state. So we can do that in awareness also. Drop the mind completely and be oneness with Paramashiva. The more and more you enjoy your inner space, you will start seeing the higher dimension where you can manifest any reality. So start chanting the Mahavakya intensely and experiencing the bhava that you are the 25 heads, 75 eyes, and 50 hands, the bhava that you experience, continuously hold that space, the bhava, how Bhagavan becomes Kalabhairava bhava or the Venkateshwara bhava. Go into that bhava, entangle with Bhagavan, watching the oneness capsule, chant intensely that you forget your body and become that oneness capsule itself, where you're chanting and you're manifesting the reality. That merging, when it happens, simply manifest as powers. Constantly when we do that, our brain also falls. How it falls into the sleep, it falls into the samadhi and manifest the higher science, higher reality. Even a glimpse will make you manifest such auspiciousness and abundance. That is why Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that even a glimpse is enough to change whole of our reality as superconscious being. Few seconds, that's all is required, but we will do it for few minutes. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya for manifesting the breath dimension. Whatever Parameshiva says, please draw it or write it. At the end of the cycle, we'll verify it. Let's start chanting intensely into the meditation.
Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द 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 परमशिवोऽहम् Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vanni open up. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vanni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
So beautiful. If you have manifested the power of breath dimension, the GPS, from one location to another, beautiful. Or if you feel you have not yet manifested, you can pick up another location, another few locations, and write down. All that you need to understand is the very breathing that we are doing is a manifestation. The very being that we are, the body and the mind, is a manifestation. if we are saying that we are not manifesting, first we have to look in what is manifestation. If you understand, when you started walking, you did not walk the first day and say you were born, hi mom, and can I have chocolate milk? Nothing. You did not compare, you did not ask, you did not do anything. You were learning all that first 7 years of your life to walk, to talk, to understand what is what, who is who, what do we need. Everything you took 7 years of your life to understand. If you see the Balasans, for the first power, they took 3 years to understand and manifest. Will every power take 3 years? No. The first 1 or 2 powers takes time for you to recognize yourself because you're in such delusion of the reality. And you are so caught up with the outer world, you have forgotten who you are. Recognizing who you are might start taking time, the conscious sovereignty in you. And the easiest way, Bhagavan says, is contribute to others' life, because correcting yourself you will not accept, but correcting others you know very well. So when you solve others' problem, when you make others complete or contribute into their life, making them understand Bhagwan's blessing, initiation, satsang, the higher signs basically, up the ladder. If you make somebody, if you can't find a parking lot, they are complaining to you, you take them to your house and say, come, I can show you from my balcony, and there is a parking lot there. It is so easy to spot from a higher point. That is exactly how you contributing in others' life and manifesting as reality. When you are able to solve others' problem, your problems simply vanish because they are nothing but your projection of your reality as them. Each of the Puranas, Bhagavan beautifully says, Devi says, from Devi Purana, from her nails Vishnu and Shiva came. From Vishnu Purana, Shiva and Devi are the Dwarak Balakas. Like each of the Puranas have their own Brahman, their own version of the highest reality. Each one of us are gods and goddesses, Paramashiva and Parashakti. We have forgotten that and we are deluded into ourselves as our identity. We are so and so. But in deep sleep and dream state, we don't know. And when we only come back to this body and this plane that we understand, same way you can drop yourself and merge into oneness with Paramashiva by chanting the Mahavakya, raising the frequency. When you become the thoughtless space, you experience the oneness. Whatever you do is a manifestation and of higher signs, a superconscious space. So understand everything is a manifestation. We took 7 years to understand something. It is not like each one of us going to take 7 years. But just to get a glimpse of what has happened will give you an idea what we do in life. 25 years of our prime life we waste in trying to educate us, which is not of use to anybody anyhow. But we spend all our life. This is even 25 seconds. You are enlightened. You will be the greatest cause for the humanity to have a superconscious breakthrough. So let's get into the depth of what Bhagavan is giving us as power manifestation and start experiencing that, the very reality. First, you understand that you are experiencing all this, and then you will understand that I am consciousness. I am not just a matter, a piece of hand or piece of mouth. I am consciousness, the very reality I am. Like the screen does not get touched by the fire in the movie or the flood in the movie. Same way, nothing in your life can ever touch you. That's why when you're in deep sleep, you're so happy. However great problem you have, you're happy. If somebody is woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning and said 2 hours you have more sleep, you're happy. Even in the worst of your life, even if you're in the war field, you're sleeping, you are happy. You do not remember anything. So understand which is reality. The reality is such that the conscious sovereignty is the very source of who you are. And with that, you have manifested your body, your mind, and all the things that you perceive. Yes, all the things. Yes, all the things. In your dream, I come and so many people come. And in my dream, there's so many people, others are there. But we are dreaming each of us in our own way. Same way in this reality also that exists. When we wake up, we understand the higher signs that nothing can be lost, nothing can be taken off, nothing can hurt. We are pure oneness space of consciousness. For us to realize that auspiciousness, Bhagavan gives simple exercise, how you have the simple physiotherapist to take care of big things. Same way, Bhagwan gives a simple glimpse of Paramashiva space that we get soaked into it. Even a little will just pull you. How the small ions kept near the magnet just sucks it in. Same way, you are pulled in, the more and more you start enjoying power manifestation. So let's now start the GPS from two locations that you completely don't know. Write the names and start drawing it. And at the end of the cycle, you can verify everything. No hurry. We'll have enough time. So now let's get into the deep meditation of oneness and start chanting the Mahavakya, merging into Bhagwan and completely experiencing that oneness. Be in that bhava that you are Parashakti with your 25 heads and 75 eyes, and feeling that oneness, the mother energy in your space, the Paramashiva, the strength that you are who you are, and chanting the Mahavakya continuously. And whatever she gives, please make a note, and at the end we will verify. Let's start chanting. Put away your gadgets, put away your thinking, mind, everything, no doubts. Let's start chanting, unclutch from everything that you know as you. You are Paramashiva. Only that is allowed here. Hold that space and let's start chanting the Mahavakya intensely.
Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ 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 नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम् Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Om Nityananda Paramashivam 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivam 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 Om Nityananda Paramashivam.
Beautiful. Whatever you have experienced today as your prasada from Bhagwan, please share it in the Kailash Kotiyar Manifesting Power session. That is tinyurl.com/power manifestation or your social media. I have manifested everything or I have not. Why should I share it? If you understand that it is easier to complete others when you contribute to others' life and raise them, it is nothing but raising yourself, especially your teamly. That is what collective integrity is all about. If you bring them to our satsang, blessings, initiation, Devi Darshan, or Kailash Kotiyar, all this where Bhagavan himself is conducting the whole science, and they will be blessed, is nothing but your own blessing. When you start sharing, it is taking only 5 minutes. Bhagavan spends 5 hours making the pre-satsang, satsang, power manifestation, everything to lift you to a conscious space. And here you can spend just 5 minutes thanking Bhagavan. At least just put a line that you are thanking for all that you receive from Bhagavan, the greatest and the deepest truth, that who you are. That is what the Guru does. He is a mirror. He shows you the real reality, existential reality of who you are. So thank him for that. Thank him for the great satsang, the powerful cognitions, and great insight how we exist. And all these confusion, chaos that happens is nothing but inside us. And seeing it again and again, our mind gets tired of it, bored of it, and just shuts down. Then we know that it's not the mind. And there is something beyond that that we can experience. Then we'll have a beautiful listening with Bhagavan in consciousness. That is why when you tire and bore your mind, you are in the much better state of listening. Here, Bhagavan gives us the greatest opportunity to manifest powers. So share your experience in tinyurl.com/power manifestation. And if you see a $sign at the end of the YouTube, you can offer, contribute whatever your currency is. Whenever you contribute again and again and again, your Kailasa inside you starts manifesting. All these great truths that Bhagavan is giving us, if we follow with little integrity and little obedience, we will manifest huge. If you have done it every day, you would understand what is Bhagavan saying that and why is it he's saying that. He gives very simple and a very small tips. And if we do that, we, after some time, we see, oh my God, it has really worked. How our skin is so much better, how our immunity is much better, and how we don't need even the vaccine, so powerful our spaces. All that we can study now, just following simple integrity and simple obedience, and not get feared by all the outer world reality. So thank Bhagavan and surrender all this powerful cognition and power manifestation to Bhagavan's lotus feet. Deeply, with a deep earning and gratitude, ask Paramashiva to manifest all this in your existential reality also. All this is a glimpse to show you who you are. And thanking each one of you here who are holding such beautiful meditative space to manifest all your abundance and auspiciousness. With that deep gratitude, let's end this session with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nityananda Parameshivam Padukarpanamastu. Om Nityanandam. Thank you so much. See you again in the next, after the satsang, after the darshan. Don't stay tuned for today's Kalabhairava darshan. After the darshan, there'll be power manifestation. See you then. Thank you, Nityananda.